Hey everyone, welcome back to Perspective.
My name is Judy Njogu and I'm glad you're here.
And my name is Kit Kendi, the daughter.
The mother.
So thank you so much guys for tuning in once again, wherever you're tuning in from, whether you're watching us on YouTube or listening on the podcast. Thank you so much for being here. We really, really appreciate it. And we appreciate the engagement as usual. And we're going to start the episode, of course, with reading a comment or a bunch of comments from our previous episode. Our previous episode was about what?
Our episode last week was about friendship with your parents. And we are going to read, I'm going to read one big nice comment from one of our supporters, Edgar Othiambo 1163. 3 weeks ago, the algorithms did what they did best. Overheard a conversation I was having with a friend regarding how we both wish we had good relationships with our folks. Then, as I was scrolling away, I came across your podcast. I love the conversations you have brought forth to my timeline. They are authentic, refreshing, and impacting people's lives positively. Keep it up. Thank you. This normalizes that forming relationships between kids and their parents, especially early on in life, on this level and more, is not only important but possible. Judy, I relate with a lot of what you have briefly described about your own personal relationships with your mom to this day. And despite all that you have faced, I hope you look at yourself in the mirror and believe that you are doing amazing with Kate. Bless you guys and keep up with the good work. We will follow and cheer you on every step of the way. How amazing.
Oh, that's such an amazing comment.
That's amazing. Thank
I
you
love it
so much, Edgar.
I think sometimes we forget the impact that we might have on people.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like there's anyone else doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's even why we even started this in the first place. Just to offer people a different perspective on how a parent and child can relate and that it's possible to actually have a relationship. I
read some of these comments and I'm amazed. And I look at people who have supported us since your first videos, like King of Zamunda. I love him. And there's always that support, like, we're listening, we're here for you, keep what you're doing, it's good. And every time you're encouraged that what you're doing is good, you want to keep on doing it.
Yeah. And I'm happy I get to do this. Yeah. It's not every day you get to work with your mom. Anyway, guys, so
not getting paid.
Who is getting paid? I'm not getting paid.
By Kate.
I'm not getting paid.
No, just.
There's no. Just. Anyway, so how are you, mom? How have you been?
I'm fine, thank you. The other day, guys, Kate called me to remind me how much she loves me and how much she knows that I'm trying, how much she respects what I try to do with her and Ryan, and she appreciates so much, and it's not gone unnoticed. And that was the most amazing call I got. I think that was yesterday, and I was with someone in the car and they were like, "Oh, somebody turned your face. What's going on? Do you want to cry? I never see you like this." And I was like, such emotions for me to feel are very rare, because I know they're coming from a good place, from the heart, because out here people are very fake. So when Kate tells me that, and out of nowhere, just to remind me that whatever I think I'm doing is not in vain and I'm doing a good job and I should keep on. And I really appreciate that, Kate. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So actually that was after my therapy session. I've been going through therapy. So during therapy, we were discussing about my dad, actually, and his absence and how it's affected me.
Yeah.
And during that session, it made me realize how much you actually took on. You deciding to have me and to take care of me by yourself at such an early age. It's not easy. And you could have decided to use my dad's absence against me, because I know there are so many mothers who release that anger from the partner that they had to their children. Because I know when sometimes you look at us, you're like, why do you look like your dad? Why do you look... You know, some people cannot get over that fact and they use that against...
But then that happens. Sometimes I speak to Kate, especially when she's in a zone. I look at her mouth and her eyes and I'm like... What am I seeing? And then I won't be able to tell her, and we are on video and I'm like, Jesus
She
Christ.
looks like her daddy.
Oh my God. And then Ryan will do something or take a picture and I look at him, I'm like, Oh, I have my genes are not that strong. I thought they were strong.
They're not
But you
strong
guys,
enough.
until you see people's dads,
Yeah.
don't judge. Don't say, oh, you have strong genes. You guys look like each
See
other.
the dads, then you'll know.
Especially Ryan. I'm like, no, this is not happening.
Yeah, so I think having that conversation with a therapist, it made me have a deeper appreciation for you and all that you've done. And it's not easy. Being a mother is not easy.
Being a mother and being a parent generally is not easy because we also have single dads.
Yeah.
So we also appreciate that. So it's not easy. So I always say, and I keep saying, I have God's grace because that's what has brought me through. And there's nothing magical or anything or a path or this is the way that you bring up a child. I do not know. I'm still learning up to date. There are things I'm learning. Like now I'm having a bit of trouble with Ryan because it's a boy. So I don't know when they are reacting this way, why they are reacting this way. I don't know when I speak to him and he looks at me like...
he looks at you funny.
I do not understand that. So I have to talk to a lot of male friends and ask them, what is going on? Are you able to speak to my son? And then I'm not friends with so many male friends that are close to my son that will come and talk to him.
Yeah.
So it's not easy.
So every day is a learning. Like
every day is a learning.
Motherhood or rather parenthood is a learning. You're always learning.
Yes.
I've read somewhere that somebody said being a parent doesn't come with a manual. And you can never be ready for what is gonna be coming.
And one child is different from the other. Yeah. So it's crazy. So I thank God for His grace upon me to bring up these beautiful children.
Yeah. So she did a good job, guys, as you can see. You know, look at me. I'm here, even without the absence of a dad. With the absence of a father. So, Mom, I remember when I told you I started therapy.
Yes.
What were your thoughts? What came to your mind when I said that?
As a Kikuyu mother, brought up in a Kikuyu background and around a lot of people older than me and my age, I was like, I'm still ish. I'm adopting to it, but it's the first time you told me, I was like, you're just giving someone money to talk to you about your problem. Get a best friend. Then I remembered best friend snitch, and they use that against you. I hope all the therapists that we use do not come and use things against us because you're opening your heart, you're pouring your mind, your heart, and your soul to somebody, and that person is trying to redirect you. I still have a bit of my misgivings about therapy, but every day, especially sometimes I'll do something and Kate will be like, Mom, you need therapy. Kate saying that, I'm like, Kate is just sitting and all that. Yeah. Then I've gotten like two very close friends. I have two close friends. One is a guy, another one is a lady. And every time we speak and I'm able to open up to them, which is very recent. Actually, both of them have been like, one was like against therapy until the mom has forced him to go to therapy. Mm-hmm. So he's gone 2 times, I think 3 times. And he's like, maybe you need to try. And then the other one has gone to therapy and she says she recommends it. So as I've been saying, I'm open to learning. I'm always open to learning, to trying new things. Sometimes I'm hesitant, but if I decide I'm going this way, I go all the way. So I'm actually also looking forward to probably doing that. Not now, I won't lie to you. Not this year. In November. Not this year. After nishalipa school fees, na nimenunua, and I've bought a shamba in Meru. You'll invest in your therapy. Then now I can invest in my therapy. But before then, I'll try to do things that distract me from what triggers me, that makes me feel that I need therapy. So I'll try that. In fact, today when you're saying that, I was looking at people's statuses.
My mom is a WhatsApp status warrior.
Let me tell you something.
If you have her number, you should just be looking.
You can see this. Okay, I'm showing the name of the person. So there is a picture. I don't know whether you can read that.
It's an image that says before therapy, it's this person who's carrying like a big load. Yeah. And then during therapy, it's like the load has some cracks and things are coming out. It's like demons, like the demons are coming out. And then after therapy, the person is actually walking with the demons hand in hand. Yeah. So it's not...
So there's no load. You deal with your demons because they are there. There's nothing you can do about it. And then there's another one which was showing a picture of a man, a grown up, and in their tummy there is a small child. So this person tries to project their insecurities and things they've not gone through in life to other people. So like a parent, like if it's a parent, they can be very bad to their child or to other people, but it's only projecting what they felt when they were younger. Then this person continues saying that this person needs to go to therapy, and then we move from there. A lot of people I'm seeing embracing therapy. And in fact, this one, they've tried to explain that the pictures above depict an inner child acting out as an adult. In most cases, someone is unaware of their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors until we reconcile with our past. We will always exude negative emotion to others, especially when it comes to conflict management. Our past experiences might as well be childhood hurts, childhood trauma, like me, I know that I have that, or shadows that get exposed when we go through frustration, failures, fears, and negative feelings. This from a very good friend of mine called Patrollis. Just he knows I still stated his.
I'm so happy you have such people around you who are posting such things, because I feel like therapy, especially in an African setting, it's very looked down upon. Unaambiwanga hiyo ni kitu ya wazungu.
What are you doing?
Why are you wasting your money? As mom has said, why are you paying somebody to listen to you? It doesn't make sense. To
tell you to open your heart, why can't you get a friend or a parent or somebody else? So there's still that.
Yeah, and also I think even in the African setting, mental health is something that's very new as well. And I think mental health is what drives people into therapy.
Yes.
So I think for me, the reason why I really started therapy, of course, it's because of my childhood. There's a part where you were not there for a while. And the people I was with, or the situations I was with, was not the best. But I know we've already discussed it, about this, I did not know how much it affected me until I started interacting with other people. And they also start pointing out, oh, maybe Kate, you do need therapy. The way you respond to things. Because I was in a certain friend group and they always kept saying I'm not communicating well, or I'm not opening up as much. So I was like, hey, if people keep saying this, then is it something I've not realized? Or my partner, when we speak about our childhoods and things we've gone through, they're like, you need to go for therapy so that you can reconcile these feelings, so you can go forward. Yeah, and also I was like, I do need the therapy so that when I have a child, I do not act a certain way. I need to be okay with myself. I think that's one of the biggest reasons that has actually kept me from pursuing to get a child, like we had said in the previous what is it called episode. So that is actually the main reason why I started therapy. I just needed to reconcile my past, like even what your post has said, because it was weighing very heavy on me and making me react not the best way to some situations that I go through as an adult. So I was like, let me try to better myself. Let me try to be a better human. Let me be a better daughter, a better friend, a better partner. Just trying to improve myself. Sister. Yep. Hey, my brother keeps sending me TikTok. This for today, I actually even called him. He's like, there's been this trend of people showing that they've gone for their sisters' funerals. And then the pastor or the person who's giving the eulogy is like, oh my God, she was so kind. She was so sweet. And the siblings are like, kind and sweet? Who are you talking about? So I was like, excuse me.
I know this woman.
Yeah, so I was like, excuse me, sir. You think I'm not sweet? What's going on? You think I'm not kind? I know it was a joke, but then I also usually take such opportunities to ask him, like, how he views me and our relationship. Because we were so close. When he was young, I know he's all grown. He's like a different person. And I'm just wanting to make sure I'm navigating and understanding him well. He doesn't tell me everything, of course, right now. He's very...
Has he changed?
Yeah, he's changed. He's more independent. Yeah. He doesn't want to be around me, his sister, the way he used to be around me all the time. And he'd literally tell me everything. So also another reason why I started therapy, or rather in my journey of me wanting to start therapy, I knew I needed therapy from a very long time. I knew it. But when you have people constantly telling you need therapy, that's when you get like some sort of wake-up call. But then there's also something that I realized. Sometimes you can decide to go to therapy because you're trying to people please. Like for me, not for you.
But you're doing for you.
Yeah, for me, I decided I'm doing it for me. But when you constantly have people around you who are telling you, oh, you need therapy, you start receiving it negatively. You start asking yourself, what is wrong with me? Like me, even in the former friendships that I was in, they'd keep bringing it up. It even started making me feel bad about myself. Oh, you're not communicating. So a part of me also wanted to go to therapy to address that communication. Because if you have, those are people who are around me all the time telling me I need.
And it's not one person.
Yeah.
So that means there's
some,
a basis
yeah,
to
they were
it.
telling me, it's showing me that there's a basis to it. And thankfully, I did not go to therapy because of that. I went because I knew there's some things I needed to sort about myself. But during that therapy, I did ask my therapist about communication. And she was like, these people, how long have they known you for? Why are you letting such people have such a impact in your life and tell you who you are?
Why you giving them so much
exactly.
power?
And they've not known you for that long. They should be working hard to know who you are first before they start pinpointing, or even one of them would even pinpoint some of my traumas. And I'm just like, these are things you need to realize for yourself. I know you need to work on, not somebody telling you, and yet maybe they misinterpreted it. So even my therapist was like, it's not that you do not have you don't know how to communicate. It's just the people who are around you that time were not understanding you, and were not putting themselves in a position to understand you, and
They're
how
not making an effort.
Yeah. So you can't come to a point where you want to go to therapy for the wrong reasons. So I hope when you want to do therapy, you're doing it out of your own decision. You want to do it. You feel like you're not okay. Don't let people push you. Especially, like, friends are really good and they're very important, but you know yourself more than anyone else. So don't go to therapy trying to people please. You might change aspects of you that are actually amazing, trying to fit in with other people, which is not relevant. I think all parents should consider therapy.
All parents?
All parents.
Even the ones who are therapists?
Therapists, like there's a show we're watching with Hillary, it's called Shrinking. Therapists also go through therapy because unfortunately most of the mental issues that children have are from their parents. It's like a cycle. You will get mental issues from your parents, and if you do not deal with them, you pass them on. Yeah, you pass them on. So I feel like parents do need it. Although sometimes, of course, most mental issues don't come from parents. I think sometimes we blame parents for so many things, but sometimes you might be doing everything right, but your child just develops a mental thing, a mental issue. They're anxious or they become depressed. Maybe they're being bullied in school, which has nothing to do with the parent as well. So I think we can also discuss on how parents can check to see if their children have mental health issues or if their child needs therapy and how to go through that.
So I came across this article by Elisa Strauss, CNN. It's basically how can a parent know or help, how parents shape their children's mental health. So she says age-appropriate conversations about anxiety and depression can achieve a number of things. For one, talking to your kid normalizes these feelings and shows children that it's okay to acknowledge and express them. Secondly, communication ensures children know a parent's stress and anxiety aren't the kid's fault. Lastly, when parents talk about what they are doing to deal with these feelings, they are showing their children how to deal with hard feelings of their own. Rather than engaging in unconstructive behaviors like catastrophizing. Rather than engaging in unconstructive behavior like catastrophizing, shutting down, or yelling, parents should try and model coping behavior right now. So this one basically encourages parents also to visit.
Yeah, it's like mom, the way when you are not having a good day at work, unakuja unatushautia, kwa nini unatushautia?
Yeah. It
Why?
should not happen.
It's not our fault that you've had a bad day.
No, it's your fault because I'm going to work to make money,
and then
niwapeleke shule and for you guys to eat, and then I found you've eaten that food, alafu hata hamjaosha vyombo na nimeacha nimepika, and I'm tired and I have to come and cook and clean, and you're just there watching TV that I'm paying for, and I'm paying through the. You get the
it's
flow
okay
of,
to be angry, mom, but you don't need to shout at us. You can tell us in a nice way. You can tell us
shouting, but sometimes you don't listen when you're not shouted at. Once I shout, we can shout too. Everybody runs.
Yeah, but that's a traumatic response of running.
Actually.
Yeah.
It is.
So I think parents just need to find a way to separate.
It's not that easy, but try.
Yeah.
Once you know you have that issue and someone points it out, or just try to see, do you the way you respond to people, is that the way you're supposed to respond to people? Or is it normal? Try to gauge yourself, and then you can learn from that.
The way parents deal with their feelings or issues dictates in a way how children will deal with the issues. For instance, e.g., when my mom is angry, she'll shut down. She'll either shut down or be silent for a very long time, or she's gonna shout. She's gonna... And guess who does that? Guess who does the same thing? That's how I react to my issues. I'll either shut down mom
Because you
completely
don't know any other way.
or I'll shout. Like, because that's how I know. That's how I'm used to seeing. That's how we deal with our issues. But it's not it's not an easy way for other people to understand that we have issues. Yeah?
I think for me, it's because anytime I could bring up my issue when I was a child, I was shut down. Like, what are you talking about? You think you're better than everybody else. You think you have issues. Oh, you're having a stomach. Oh, so you're pretending you're having a stomach so you can go to school. Such things, like something you say so genuinely.
Yeah.
And anytime you say you're shut down and nobody's going to listen to you, or you're going to be victimized about it. So you opt to just stay in your feelings.
Ukae tu nayo tu, hutaki hata kusumbua watu.
Yeah.
Or also something that I noticed about myself is I'm very confrontational, but sometimes I will not confront anything. I'll be like, let me just cover for those people so you can continue our lives. Let me not ruin whatever I have with somebody by expressing how I feel and just continue. Like, I cover it, I compromise, and I try to move on, because you're used to, if you say you have an issue, it's either going to...
It ruins things.
It'll bring up another issue, or it will ruin things. So the person might not understand you. So I try to cover that up, and I'm like, let's just move on. Yes, I'm hurt, but I'll keep it to myself, and I'll just want to move on because I don't want to address it. You get?
I've learned that lately I'm very confrontational, and I want to speak about my feelings. I want to talk about everything. So even if it's a relationship and I'm not feeling nice, I'll talk to that person and tell them this is what I'm feeling. And sometimes you might find people say, oh, you talk too much, you're always saying things, but that's how I feel. And when I say it, it's over for me and I move forward. So if I talk to this person, whether it's in a romantic or friendship relationship, and I'll give you chances, like change, and I've told you about it, like, this is not working for me, this is not nice, stop it. So if you continue doing it, then I shut down. I'm like, okay, there's nothing.
Because you're not hard. You don't feel hard, of course.
I'm not being hard, so I'm like, okay, that's what you've chosen. So you're consciously doing this, so it's intentional. So what I do is slowly I disconnect myself from you, and then people get shocked when I disconnect completely. And I have this behavior, and kids can tell you what happens. Oh my God.
You'll be with mom, mom will be with somebody, and then all of a sudden they're not there. I'm like, mom, what happened? What went on? But for mom, she has been trying
Patience
to...
run out. But I try. Kate,
Yeah.
I think you've seen my relationship with people. I try and I give people chances, especially friends. Like, I've given you a chance. Just try to be normal and nice, and for our relationship to work, this is what I expect. What do you expect? We see if it can work.
But that's so nice that you actually try to communicate your feelings, and then this person does not hear or doesn't listen to you. Of course, you feel hurt and unheard, and you remove yourself from the situation.
Yeah, like, since I can't deal with this, the best thing is I don't want to deal with it. So the best thing is to keep off the whole relationship.
Yeah,
because that's something that I'm not able or willing to compromise. And I've talked about it, and you're not giving me an alternative or telling me this is not. So it becomes a deal breaker, and I'm like, you know what?
No, I'm not gonna. And I know some people are gonna have probably an issue with that. They'd probably feel like you've cut them off too soon, or you've not given them chances. But I think, like, that issue of communication, I think people do try to communicate to people. You try to tell people, this is how I want to be loved. I need you to do this and this. You can't be doing this and this. But they decide to become ignorant. And then all of a sudden they are shocked. They are shocked with your behavior. They are shocked that you've decided to put yourself on the side, but you have been trying to communicate.
I think people hate being treated the same way they are being treated. They treat other people.
Yeah.
So when you're doing whatever you're doing, even if it's with your child or anyone, think about what you're doing. Does it trigger or does it work for the other person? If you are the one on the flip side, would you be happy?
Yeah.
Even as a child.
Yeah.
When you're talking to your parent, would you want your child to talk to you the same way you're talking to me?
No. I think parents need to be listening and validating their children's feelings. Because once this is the first person who you're around all the time and they don't listen to you, they don't validate your feelings, you're going to end up feeling like no one is ever going to listen to you, no one is ever going to validate your feelings, no one is ever going to understand you. So I think it starts at a very early age. And I think once you create that environment where your child feels, like when we were talking about the last episode, when your child
needs to feel safe.
Your child needs to feel safe. You need to be like a friend to your child, make them feel safe to share their feelings. To them, it's a very serious thing at the time. For you might listen to it and you're like, hey, what is this? But for them, it's a very serious thing. Like when a child starts having like friendship breakups at a very young age, they're like mom, yeah, or even younger, like mom, let's say Ivy is not speaking to me anymore. I don't know what I did to her, why I feel like this. One parent can decide, I don't know, niambia hizo vitu kwa nini, sijui nini. Ama sometimes mom, though you say, this one not gonna be in your life forever. This, but for a child,
you know where to draw the line.
For a child, mom, that's their whole life. This is the thing that they are around. This is the person they are around. Of course, they don't know yet that this person is not going to be there forever.
You also need to educate them and tell them.
Yeah, but at that time, you need to tell them, like...
Yeah, first deal with the issue and then also tell them if this happens, because it's not a must for them to go back, this can happen and it will continue happening in life. So they're able to cope with it even when they're older.
Yeah. So you just tell them, I'm very sorry you feel hurt. It's understandable that you feel hurt because you're very close and now she doesn't want to speak to you. Have you tried asking how the issue is?
No,
and then now you can add on there. Also, remember, these people are not there forever.
Yeah.
You're going to make better friends and stuff like that. So that she'll be comfortable speaking about her issues in the future. And also, that thing for validating feelings, you don't need to validate every feeling of your child. Some things your child feels are very irrational, so you need to bring them back to reality. You can let them know that it's okay to feel scared, but this is the reality. This is the reality. So once you have like you have to be honest with them at the end of the day.
As a parent, the things that we tell our children, we might say it by passing or jokingly, but they affect the children like up
for
to
long term. Yeah. Umeshinda ukiongelesha your child, you're pinpointing the negative things about themselves. They start brewing insecurity that stays with them for a very long time. Like
we tend to do that sometimes even without our knowledge. So we have to let whatever we want to say sink in our brains first and think, how is it going to affect this child, and then we decide whether to say it or how to say it. Right?
Yeah. Once your parent says something about you, it stays with you.
It stays with you.
And you usually believe your parent first before anyone else.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes, even letting other people give comments about your child and you being okay with it, that's not right.
Yeah, that one is not allowed.
Unless
you're giving a good comment.
Yeah.
Please, especially me with my kids. If anyone knows me. I see people telling Kate, hey, na Kate, umeongeza, I'm like, what the
a relative,
Look at yourself first. Who told you? Anakulanga wako. Like, I get very offended. Like, who are you to come and tell my child ati ameongeza? And then those people who have very bad behavior, anytime they see you, na umenona, na siku hizi unaongeza, umekuwa. What business is it of yours?
Yeah, umekonda, ama umenona, or they just start making different comments
so annoying
about your child.
And for me, even my friends used to like the last time, hey, unakula, I'm like, shut the fuck up and fuck you, like, go.
You see, for me, I think
it triggers me more than it triggers my kids.
Once a parent makes it clear that you cannot speak or say such things about my child or try to make them look a certain way, as you grow up,
the child is aware that people are not supposed to tell me
you're not supposed to. You're supposed to speak to me like this. You're not supposed to tell me like things about this. This is how I am. My mom told me I am strong, I am beautiful, I'm
capable.
I can do so many things. Once a parent says that to their child from a very young age, once they grow up, they will not care. This person said this about me. You actually don't pay attention. But if you're letting other people say things about your child, mtoto wako aongeangi sana, kwani shida yake ni nini?
Unataka ongea kwambie nini?
You'll be like, excuse me, you want my child doesn't want to speak to you particularly.
Unataka kwambie nini? Maybe it's you.
Yeah, maybe it's you. My child is not comfortable around you.
Don't just go and take a shower.
Ama kwani ni bubu?
Hapana, go and shower. You're thinking around my child. That's why they're not speaking to you. Me, Alonzo, use such things, by the way. I'm protective of my children.
So I think if it starts early, your child has better chances. Of course, there's so many factors that happen later on that parents are not around to help their children with. But if you start helping them
From a young
earlier,
age.
wherever situation or environment they're in, they'll know who they are. They won't be easily influenced by others. They won't let others, what is it called? Sentiments about them change them at all.
So you create a good foundation for your child.
Yeah, you need to set a good foundation. Yeah, validate them even when they're older. It's important, especially now with social media. I think we've also let social media really affect our relationships, whether it's with friends or with parents. Everyone now is trying to emulate what they see, and maybe that doesn't
Not
even
being
work.
authentic.
Yeah, it doesn't even work for you. Just know who you are and keep going as who you are. And parents need to, remind your children that they are great, not too much.
Kate, you're great. You're beautiful. You're awesome. You're so gorgeous.
Thank you, Mama.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You got this.
Thank you so much.
I think I try to remind you that even without.
I think even sometimes even with some brand deals that I'm about to do or about to say no to, I usually come to you as well. As I know now you know about the industry and all. And you usually validate me. You're like, why would you want to take something like that? Do you know who you are? How you see such things, they really do validate me and they help me and they're like, I feel better about myself. So if my mom, I even tell people, my mom has told me she loves me publicly and she's proud of me. What do you think? You think your words are gonna go anywhere? They're not going to. But if your parents always like, sasa nini unafanya? Hakuna kitu umefanya with your life. Of course, the outside sentiments of others are gonna affect you. So I think it's important to start early. Start early working on yourself. Personally, parents, you need to work on yourselves. You need to sort out your issues because it does affect how you raise your children and how you speak to them.
There's also this issue of parents like my mom's age and that age group of 60s, 70s, yeah? I think I've realized most of them will tell their children any harmful or hurtful thing that comes to their mind, and they think by beating their child up, like verbally, will make them become better to stop that.
Stronger.
Yeah. But then again, now when they're out there with their friends and other people, they'll tell them, hey, my daughter is doing this. I'm proud, like I'll be here telling guys, I'm proud of Kate and nini. And then when we're with her, I'm just like, I've seen that a lot with that age group. And I think they need to stop. And we also need to stop. If we are saying something, let it be genuine and let us tell things to the right people. Because once I tell Kate I love her and she knows it and it's coming from my heart, even if I don't say it in public, she knows it.
Yeah.
And that stands with her. So even when I say it again in public, she's like, yeah, I already know that. But when I start telling her, oh, you're fat, you're doing what? And then later on she hears me out there telling people, oh my God, I'm so proud of my daughter. Look at her. She's like, this
It confuses
person
you
is
as well.
fake.
Yeah.
They are confusing. So am I really that way or this way? So you have to be genuine and very straight and meaningful to what you tell your children as parents.
I think it becomes very confusing, especially for the adults now that are raised by mothers from that age. I think I also realized that they really praise other people's children.
Oh,
But they never take time to praise their own. Oh, sijui umeona mtoto wa sijui
that's
nani.
a topic for another day.
Kwani inakutrigger? Clearly it's triggering me, but it's like that. They are very, umeona mtoto wa nani amefanya hivi na hivi na hivi.
Mtoto wa nani alienda US. Unajua amejengea mama yake nyumba ya 5 million. Amejengea mama yake, amemnunulia gari. Unajua alisema mama yake akuje sijui ampeleke wapi, amempeleka Dubai.
Yeah, you're making your child look like they're never gonna be enough for anything.
No, like you're doing nothing.
Yeah.
What are you? When other children are busy giving money to their parents, what are you doing?
Yeah, you've not done anything, and of course that.
And maybe you're barely surviving.
Mom, since that is in Mekotriga, how did you deal with that? Ama you haven't dealt with it. It's still with you.
Mimi.
You've put yourself strong, but I feel like that would make me feel like I'm not good enough for anyone. If I'm not good enough for my mom, who will I ever be good enough for? So you start feeling very inadequate as a human being, and it stays with you. Even the people that you stay around, it affects you in all these ways. So yeah, I think it's important to realize where you are mentally. Where are you mentally? How do you deal with certain situations? Is it the right way? How do you feel inside? If you feel like your friends cannot help you with it, it's important to go to a therapist. This is a person who's actually neutral. They don't know your parents, they don't know your friends, they just know you, and they're going to listen to your story without judging you and just listening. And sometimes we need somebody like that, because unfortunately your friends might judge you, your parents might judge you, they might not be listening, or they'll feel like you're attacking them when you're speaking about a certain situation maybe that happened in childhood. Of course your parent might feel like you're attacking them. So
yeah, especially parents feel attacked. You bring up something like that, they're like, why are you attacking me? Do you know what I had
to go through to, sometimes you do need that certain person to listen to you. For me, my therapy sessions, mom, have been amazing. They've really helped me. I feel like I'm being a better person. I'm growing into a better person. Yeah. Actually,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
growing into a better human being. I'm learning more about myself. I think I've always been a person who tries to people please and make sure everyone around me is okay, but never looking at myself. But the therapist told me it's okay to choose myself, to take care of myself, to know about myself, because you can't pour from an empty cup.
Self-love.
Yeah, you can't pour from an empty cup. And the way she's saying it is not in a harsh way or a selfish
And
way.
it's not in a way that you're selfish and boastful and all that. You also have to be a bit considerate.
Yeah, of course, with therapy, it's not cheap, and definitely
That's
it's not
the other
for
thing.
it's not for everyone. But if you can, please do.
If you can,
And also if you can, for your parents as well,
if you can pay for
just me usually force my mom to try very many things. I forced her to try Pilates, and I knew she's not gonna do it on her own, so I was like, acha tu nilipe before, then she'll have no option.
I went and I liked it.
And also sometimes I know with therapy, the therapist that you're with might not be the one yet. You need to find the perfect person. Yeah, I love her. She's really nice. Even she sends me such text messages. I'll show you. She was like, thank you for taking time to invest in yourself and think of yourself, blah blah blah. I was like, wow, thank you, ma'am. Yeah. So I'll do
I
that.
know this episode will probably trigger people, because we've said we both recommend therapists. We're just saying, if you are able to pay for it.
Yeah, if you can pay for it, you can pay for your parents. If you feel no one is understanding you, or if you feel misunderstood most of the time, or mentally you're not okay, you feel like you're anxious, or maybe you're actually depressed, it's important to look for counseling services. It'll really help. It's helped me so much, guys. Like, you will not believe it. I feel like every day I feel like a new person in a way.
I think you can also look for cheaper options, because I think there's like Imani Counseling Center and all.
Yeah, you can.
There's several that are not very
there are
expensive,
therapists
actually.
who are very affordable, and there are therapists who are very expensive.
Yeah, and there are some provided actually even by the government.
Yeah.
In hospitals. So you can also research on that.
Yeah, and of course, if one therapist amwendi vizuri this time,
You can try.
it's okay to look for others. Sometimes you just don't gel with a particular person. They even online ones you can pay. Yeah, and all of mine are usually online as well, so you don't need to meet with somebody.
In
You might
person.
be scared to speak to a person you don't know in
yeah.
person, but all of mine are, online.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's it for the episode today.
That's it for today. I'm hungry.
You're hungry. Mom, I will look for this therapist, guys. I will. I think she needs it. And of course, don't forget to leave your comments. You can leave your comments here on YouTube, or you can DM us directly at Perspective MDC on Instagram, or individually in our platforms at Kate Kendi or at Judy W. Njogu, or even send us an email. We are everywhere. You can find us everywhere. Thank you so much for engaging, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.